Okay, so get this. We're diving into some seriously wild AI news today. Imagine like the company that's known for powering AI. You know the engines behind it all. They suddenly reveal that they built a model and it's not just good, it's like topping the charts. And that's exactly what's happening right now with NVIDIA. You know them for their GPUs, right? All the hardware that makes AI magic possible. Well, now they just dropped a language model. It's called Llama-3.1-Nemotron-70B Instruct-HF. It's a mouthful, I know. But it's turning heads. It's even beating out some big names on certain benchmarks, like OpenAI's GPT-4 and Anthropic's Claude.
And what's really interesting is they kind of just released it on Hugging Face. No big announcement, no fanfare, just like, here's our groundbreaking model, have at it.
Right, like a total mic drop moment. But here's why you should care. This isn't just some tech news, just for the AI nerds out there. This has the potential to be a total game changer. Think about it. More accessible AI. Potentially more affordable AI that's also high performing. That impacts businesses' research, maybe even your work. It all depends on what you do.
Absolutely. The implications are huge, especially for NVIDIA, a company that's traditionally been rooted in hardware, now stepping into the software arena with this level of sophistication.
Exactly. We've got two key sources for this deep dive today. An article from VentureBeat that broke the news, and the model's Hugging Face page, which is kind of like the model's official online profile. All the juicy details are right there. So to kick things off, can you give us some context here? What does it mean for a hardware giant like NVIDIA to suddenly become a major player in the AI software world?
It really shakes up the status quo, It signals that they're not content just supplying the tools anymore. They want to be a driving force in shaping the future of AI. It puts pressure on all the existing players, like OpenAI and Google, to innovate faster. And, it could potentially even change the dynamics of collaboration in the industry.
So they're not just playing catch-up here. They're aiming to lead. That's a pretty bold statement. What makes you think they have a real shot at that?
Well, they've been strategically building towards this for a while. Think about their recent releases, like the NVLM 1.0 family, which includes multimodal models. Now, these are models that can process and understand different types of data, not just text, but also images, audio, even video. This really demonstrates their ambition to develop AI solutions that are just more versatile and powerful than anything we've seen before.
Okay, so they're building this AI ecosystem, and this new language model is like a key piece of that puzzle. But let's unpack this Llama 3.1 Nemotron-70B Instruct-HF thing a bit more. I was looking at its Hugging Face page, and honestly, some of the details are seriously impressive.
Yeah, let's break down what makes this model so remarkable.
First of all, it's crushing benchmarks like Arena Hard and AlpacaEval 2LC. Now, for those who aren't familiar, these benchmarks are like obstacle courses for language models. They test things like their ability to reason, to follow instructions, and to solve complex problems. And this one is coming out on top, often beating models that have been specifically designed for those tasks.
What's particularly impressive is it doesn't need a lot of hand-holding to perform well on these benchmarks. Some models need very specific prompts, almost like instructions. But this one seems to have like a deeper understanding of what's being asked. So it can respond accurately, even with more open-ended questions.
Right. Like on the Hugging Face page, there's this example where it's asked, how many R's are in strawberry? Huh. You wouldn't believe how this thing answers.
Instead of just saying 3, it actually breaks down the word letter by letter, counting each R as it goes. It's like it's trying to teach the user how to arrive at the answer, not just provide the solution.
I know, right? It's almost like it understands that the user might be trying to learn, not just get a quick answer.
Exactly. That's a testament to its design, its focus on alignment.
Alignment. What does that mean in this context?
It means that the model is designed to understand user needs and preferences. It goes beyond just generating text. It tries to generate text that is genuinely helpful, accurate, and aligned with what the user is actually looking for.
Okay, so it's smart, it's powerful, and it's designed with the user in mind. But what does all of this mean for, say, businesses or even individuals? Like, what are the practical implications of this kind of AI being more readily available?
Well, for starters, it offers a potentially more cost-effective alternative to some of the existing options out there. And the fact that it's open source, meaning that the code is freely available for anyone to use and modify. Well, it opens up a world of possibilities.
And don't forget, NVIDIA is also offering free hosted inference through their build.nvidia.com platform. That means you don't even need to set up your own powerful hardware to run this thing. You can access it online.
That's a huge deal for smaller businesses, researchers, or even individual developers. People who might not have the resources to invest in expensive infrastructure. It democratizes access to this level of AI, which could lead to some really exciting innovations. I mean, imagine a world where, like a small startup, could leverage the same level of AI as tech giant. That's the kind of landscape this could create.
It's pretty mind-blowing. But NVIDIA was also pretty upfront about some of the model's limitations, right?
Right. They emphasize that it's not, like a magic bullet. It can't solve every AI need out there. For instance, it hasn't been specifically tuned for like highly specialized domains like math or legal reasoning.
Yeah.
Where, pinpoint accuracy is critical.
So there are still some situations where you might need like a more specialized model. Or even a human, to double check what the AI comes up with.
Exactly. Using AI responsibly means understanding both its strengths and its limitations.
Okay, so we've got this incredibly powerful AI model. It's accessible, but it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's kind of like, those high-performing sports cars?
Yeah.
Amazing for speed and agility, but maybe not the best choice for like off-roading. So how does this all fit into the bigger picture? What's NVIDIA trying to achieve here?
If we zoom out and look at NVIDIA's strategy, I think it's becoming clear that they're aiming to be like a one-stop shop for all things AI. They're not just providing the hardware anymore. The GPUs that power these models, they're also moving into software, developing platforms and tools that make AI more accessible, easier to use.
So they're going from being like the engine builder to building the entire car.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And this release, this bold move with Llama-3.1-Nemotron-70B Instruct-HF, what's a major step in that direction.
It definitely feels like a power play in the AI world. But how are the other players reacting to all of this? Especially the companies that have been focused on AI software for a while now.
Well, you're already seeing responses. OpenAI, for example. They recently announced their latest model. And Anthropic is pushing ahead with advancements to their Claude models.
So it's like a high-stakes game of chess, with each move forcing the others to adapt and respond.
Absolutely. And the stakes are incredibly high. We're talking about potentially reshaping entire industries.
Yeah.
The way we work, live, and interact with technology.
Okay, back to Llama-3.1-Nemotron-70B Instruct-HF for a second. We've talked about its performance, some of its limitations, but one thing that really stood out to me was the way it's trained. It uses something called RLHF, right? Reinforcement learning from human feedback. What exactly does that mean, and why is it so important?
It's a fascinating approach to training these models that essentially incorporates human preferences into the learning process. Imagine having a teacher, guiding the model, providing feedback on its responses, helping it to learn what makes a good answer.
So instead of just being fed a massive data set of text and left to figure things out on its own, it's getting direct feedback from humans about what we consider to be, helpful, accurate, and relevant.
Precisely. And this focus on alignment, on making sure that the model's output aligns with human values and expectations, well, that's a key factor in its impressive performance.
So it's not just about being smart. It's about being smart in a way that's actually useful to humans. It's like having a really intelligent assistant who can understand what you need and provide information in a way that makes sense to you.
That's a great way to put it. This RLHF approach has the potential to be a real game changer in terms of making AI more user-friendly and trustworthy.
Okay, so we've got NVIDIA making this big move into AI software, a model that's both powerful and accessible, and this innovative training technique that incorporates human feedback. It's a lot to unpack.
It really is, and it all points to a future where AI is becoming more and more integrated into our lives, impacting everything, from how we work to how we learn, and even how we create.
And it also raises some important questions, right? Like, if this is the direction AI is heading, what does it mean for the future of work? Will AI become a tool that empowers us? Or will it lead to job displacement and economic inequality?
Those are questions we need to be asking ourselves as we develop and deploy these increasingly sophisticated AI systems. The choices we make today will have profound implications for the future.
Yeah, it does feel like we're at a bit of a crossroads with AI. On one hand, you've got all this incredible potential for good, like solving problems we couldn't even dream of tackling before. But on the other hand, you have these valid concerns about job displacement, about bias, about the concentration of power, in the hands of just a few tech giants.
It's a classic case of disruptive technology, right? It has the power to transform our world for the better, but it definitely comes with risks that we need to address.
So how do we navigate this? How do we make sure that AI is developed and used responsibly, that it benefits society as a whole, and not just a select few?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right.
And there's no easy answer. But one thing that gives me hope is this growing emphasis on open source AI, like what NVIDIA is doing with this release.
Right. They could have easily kept this model proprietary,
Right.
Their own secret weapon in the AI race, but they chose to make it freely available.
Exactly. And that decision suggests that maybe They're looking beyond just competition and recognizing the value of collaborating, to advance the field as a whole.
So maybe this is a sign that the AI world is starting to shift towards a more cooperative approach, where companies are willing to share their knowledge and build upon each other's work, even while they're competing.
It's certainly a possibility. Open source models allow researchers and developers all over the world to study the code, to experiment with it, to find new and innovative ways to use it. And this accelerates progress. It fosters transparency. It makes these powerful tools more accessible to a wider range of people.
Imagine if more companies followed NVIDIA's lead. If we started to see like a real culture of open source collaboration in AI, who knows what kind of breakthroughs we could unlock? We could have researchers all over the world with different perspectives, different areas of expertise, all contributing to the development of AI that benefits humanity.
It's an exciting vision, and I think it's becoming increasingly possible.
But let's be realistic for a second. Can a company like NVIDIA, a company that's built its success on being fiercely competitive, in the world of hardware, can they truly embrace this open and collaborative spirit in the long run?
That remains to be seen. It's a real test of whether a company that's so deeply rooted in a competitive mindset can adapt to a world where collaboration and open sharing might be the key to even greater success.
So what's your best guess? Is this a sign that the AI world is on the verge of a major shift towards collaboration? Or is this just like a strategic move by NVIDIA to gain a competitive edge?
It's probably a bit of both. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no doubt that NVIDIA is making a calculated move here to position themselves as a leader in this new era of AI. But at the same time, their decision to open source this powerful model, well, it has the potential to create a ripple effect throughout the entire industry, encouraging others to embrace this more open and collaborative approach.
So it's a win-win. We get faster progress, wider access to these incredible tools, and NVIDIA gets to be seen as like a leader in innovation and collaboration.
It could be. But remember, the future of AI isn't predetermined. It's being shaped by the choices we make today. It's up to us as a society to decide what kind of AI future we want to create.
That's a powerful thought. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we use it, the values we embed in it, the kind of world we want to build with it.
Exactly. AI has the potential to be an incredibly powerful force for good, but only if we guide its development with wisdom, foresight, and a commitment to ethical principles.
Well said. Well, it looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive into NVIDIA's surprise AI powerhouse. We covered a lot of ground today, from the technical details of this groundbreaking model to the wider implications for the future of AI.
It's been a fascinating conversation, and it's clear that NVIDIA's move has injected a much-needed dose of energy and excitement into the AI landscape.
Absolutely. And it's left us with a lot to think about. So to our listeners, we leave you with this final question. What role do you want to play in shaping the future of AI? How will you use these incredible tools to make a difference in your work, your community, or even the world? Let us know your thoughts. Thanks for joining us on this.